situation that he was in for a long time in this tournament, where it looked as though he could potentially lose every match. What a cracking start that is.
Yeah, he's going to like this. It's Fortunski. One ball stays over the top pocket. Can always be a little awkward when it stays over the pocket to gain position for your next ball.
High drama for him earlier today in his 5-4 win over Francisco Sanchez Ruiz. Such an important result for him. Came into the day with 4 wins on the board. He felt he certainly needed to get 2 more. And very possibly 3 from his 4 remaining matches. So to get a win over someone who's been playing really well the last couple of days. A very good start and giving him something to build on. It's also left him perhaps with a little bit of wiggle room.
Yeah, on table 2, Omar Al-Shaheen is playing Kelly Fisher. Both of them players are on 5 points, along with Fortunski.
Yeah, so the results on both tables impact on each other quite strongly, don't they? The thing with Al-Shaheen, he's only got 5 on the board, but he's still got 4 matches to go. He's actually got more remaining matches than anybody else. So he's got the time to make up the ground he needs to. He actually plays 3 in a row at the start of the late session today.
This is the ideal start for the Butcher. That's Fortunski's pool nickname, by the way. I've not just made that up.
Well, he knows there's a lot at stake today. As Carl throws his eyes up to the heavens, Mieszko Fortunski completes an opening rack break and run, and he leads Max Lechner in very short order, 1-0. Now, clearly, we're going to be keeping a very close eye on proceedings on the other side of the arena for the very reasons that Carl just said. These two both on 5 as well. Al-Shaheen, as I said, with 4 matches to go, but Fisher's still got 3. She still has to play Alban Ocean and Skylar Woodward after this. But we really are getting down to it now. There's a bit of a knockout feel starting to develop, and you look at last match on the main table tonight, Szolnocki against Fortunski. That could possibly end up being effectively an eliminator for the last place in phase 2.
That was a miss there from Omar. He attempted to pot that ball. So Kelly comes out and, well, this is what she's faced with. Back to table 1.
Rack number 2. Current score is 1-0 in favor of Mr. Fortunski. Mr. Lechner to break.
Referee for this match is New York City's Mr. John Lehman. He's actually a part-time actor as well, Michael.
Yeah, he likes to play it down, but I think he's had small parts in some big movies and TV shows. And that break was certainly box office. Couple of nice little nudges there, giving him a look at the 1. I'm glad you said Mr. John Lehman, because of course he refers to everyone as Mr. or Ms. in the case of Kelly Fisher, with all his announcements. Oh dear. Well, he was given a bit of fortune from the break, which you always need. And that's been the story of Max Lechner's week. He's played well at times, but he's just missed too many balls that you really should be getting.
Yeah, he's missed some awful balls this week. Granted, he was trying to force the cue ball over, but
10 seconds.
At this level, you've got to be potting them.
You a fan of Shakespeare, Carl?
Not in the slightest.
I was just going to say, we were talking about John Lehman and his acting career. I think he'd make a great King Lear. He's got the look for it. I think he'd love some of those soliloquies.
It's funny, at the start of the match when he introduces the players, he does it in a very little unique way, doesn't he?
He'll explain what all those Shakespearean references meant to you later, Carl. He'll put it in layman's terms for you.
You're on form today, aren't you, pal?
Well, so's Mieszko Fortunski. Good chance here to go 2-0 up. It'll be a great story if he got through. Came here on Wednesday morning to play, still without a win on the board. He'd lost all of his first 5 matches, but then turned it round. 4 wins in a row. Went off the boil a bit, back-to-back defeats against Omar Al-Shaheen and Lucius Yap. But the win earlier today really gives him hope. The key thing is, it's still in his own hands. He's not really relying on other results if he plays well enough.
Just feel like this is a must-win game for Fortunski, though, because his next match after this later this evening is none other than Mr. Jason Shaw. And then to round his campaign up, he will be playing Oliver Szolnoki, so that could end up to be a real must-win match against Szolnoki.
Yeah, and the thing is, the last match on the other table is going to be David O'Cady against Joshua Filler, and neither of those is in the qualification conversation at all, because they're both safely through already. So the picture will be very clear. And if it is a case that Szolnoki and Fortunski are both still looking to get through, they'll go into it knowing exactly what they need. So that could be a wonderful finish to the first phase.
Another tidy run out from Fortunski. He's done what he's needed to do. Cue ball's a little close to the rail, but looks to be cueing nicely today.
And in no time at all, he leads 2-0, picking up on yet another Lechner lapse. And Fortunski will have the break in rack 3. Still in the second rack on the other table. Heading for an interesting finish to it. Well, that's just a pretty awful shot, really. Nowhere near what he was intending to do. Great chance now for Fischer.
Yeah, that's a nice little gift for Kelly to come to the table with the 6 ball over the pocket. Needs to try and kill the cue ball, though. She don't want to run past this 8. Well, she's actually played for the 8 in the same pocket. And she's done a good job of that, let me tell you, because that could have easily gone wrong. She's actually landed real nice to draw this cue ball back.
Well, could have done with drawing it back a little further there. Great technique. Yeah, but she's missed balls like that, hasn't she? A number of times this week, in among all the great breaking and the good play she's produced. And what a let-off for Omar Al-Shaheen after that dreadful shot, giving Fischer the chance. But she left herself with a little too much to do on the 9, and so, instead of levelling, she now finds herself 2-0 down.
Number 3.
This man, on the other hand, is 2-0 up.
2-0 in favor of Mr. Fortunski. Mr. Fortunski to break.
He has made a ball, but we can all see the cue ball has come down. It's actually got kicked down the table and it's nestled on top of the 9 ball. So Fortunski's going to be playing a push out. He's just going to roll the cue ball up to the top end, up to the rail.
Mr. Lechner, your option.
So Max is going to have the option to play the shot or pass it back. The thin snip is on. It is by no means an easy shot, but it is on. Cue ball would be travelling at pace though. Could maybe try and bank the 1 up 2 rails and get the cue ball floating over towards the 9. Just try to get it in behind the 6. The main part was get a good 1 ball.
Extension, please.
Speed of this shot has been real nice. Didn't have a lot of margin for error there.
Neither of these players has a huge amount of margin for error in terms of the matches they still need to win to get through. Kelly Fisher has shown great battling qualities throughout the week here. She needs to bring them to the fore again after the huge disappointment of failing to win that second rack. She's been gifted an opportunity. Just left herself a bit too much to do on the 9. Still fancied her to get it, but left it over the pocket. Trailed 2-0 instead, but looks like she's going to close to 2-1 down. But she's left herself with a little tester on the 9 again. Deja vu for Kelly Fisher.
Yeah, what a bizarre shot she's played there.
Extension code.
Talk about making it difficult for yourself. Looked like all the world she was just going to roll the 8 in and pocket the 9. So she's still going to take it on into the bottom right. She's got 3 options. It's bottom right, right centre, or the bank. Looking at that angle, she's got to go into the bottom right.
Well, she did still have her extension in hand, which was just as well there, because I think she needed those extra seconds to steel herself for the moment. And Kelly Fisher off and running against Omar Al-Shaheen. She still trails, but now it's 2-1.
Still got his playing cue in his hand, so is he looking to swerve this cue ball a little bit?
10 seconds.
Where's the 2 ball going to finish? Well, that's pretty good for Max because he can't pot this up the rail without scratching.
Fortunski's 2021 was pretty good all round, and it was blighted a little bit by Lechner. Fortunski was in the World Masters. He beat Christina to catch comfortably in the first round, but then Lechner ended his hopes in the last 16. And he was also beaten when they met at the same stage of the US Open. It's a good year for Fortunski in the two biggest events on the calendar. He was also in the last 16 of the World Championship. Gave the eventual winner, Albin Ocean, a good contest. I think last 16 sort of reflects his standing in the world game and where he's at. The next year or two now, he'll be looking to turn things like that into runs to quarters and semis. All part of the building process. Very promising player, but he knows he's got a long way to go to be bracketed, along with the likes of Filler and Ocean and Beato. Shane Van Boning, Jason Shaw, they're all in that top bracket. So many players, including both of these two, snapping at their heels, but still much improvement needed.
Needs to go twice across here with the cue balls. Get back over on the side rail. Needs this to travel. He would love this to land. Well, about there. That's not bad at all. Now he can follow this cue ball through. Needs a little bit of help here, and he's going to get it, because I don't think the 8 went. I think he was playing it in the other pocket, and that bump means it now goes, and he's going to go 3-0 up in this match.
Yeah, he's looking good and racing away with it at the moment. Fortunski leads Lechner by 3-0. Big day in Milton Keynes, and so far a very good day for Mieszko Fortunski. He's won his first match and he's leading 3-0 in his second against this man, Max Lechner, who breaks in rack 4.
This looks a very useful break. Well, just look at these balls. These are absolutely lovely.
Yeah, that's one of the best finishing positions we've seen all week, really.
Well, you'd love the balls to split like this for a big major. Just look at these. Everything's just perfect. It's physically impossible to not clear the table.
You would think so, and no disrespect to Max Lechner, but if there's one player you could see not finishing it out from here, it would be him, and that's just because of the number of unexpected misses he's had throughout the week. But yeah, you're absolutely right, Carl. This level, it's not one of those that you would say should clear up from here 99 times out of 100. I think you'd be expecting it every single time.
The reason why I say it is because a lot of the times the cue ball's got a little bit of travelling to do up and around the table. Now and again, one of these racks comes up where literally every ball's just there, because once he stops this, he rolls the 7, the 8's there for the 9. It's just, now and again you do see these type of racks.
Talked about how Fortunski's runs at the US Open and World Championship last year reflected his standing in the world game at the moment, last 16 of both. Lechner on a slightly higher level, and indeed he was a quarter-finalist in both of those tournaments. As I said, he beat Fortunski to get to the quarter-finals of the World Masters, but went no further. He was beaten by the eventual runner-up, Shane Van Boening, in the last 8. So one of the best splits off the break we've seen all week. And Lechner has really made it count. He closes to 3-1 down. It's also 3-1 on the other table. Al-Shaheen leading Kelly Fisher, but he's just played a bit of a loose shot in potting the 2. From a positional point of view, that is.
Extension code.
Lost the cue ball a bit.
What a recovery shot that is, by the way. Jacked up. Had to play it with pace to get the cue ball back over.
As we said, started the day needing at least one more win, and very possibly 2. But he had 4 matches in which to do it, of which this is just the first. So at this moment in time, you'd say more likely than not he's going to get there, be around for the weekend. All helps in terms of the global spread of the lineup for the next phase. The other Asian players in the field. A disappointing week so far. Lucius Yap of Singapore and Japan's Naoki Oi. If Kelly Fisher loses this match, she's really going to be kicking herself over that 9-ball that she missed earlier on. Al-Shaheen on the hill then at 4-1.
I was there looking.
Rack number 5. Our current score is 3-1 in favor of Mr. Fortunski. Mr. Fortunski to break.
John Lehman has said it all for us there. I think he's pitching for a commentary gig, Carl. What do you reckon?
Well, he's definitely got the voice for it. Is the 5-ball going to make it? Yes, indeed. Now, if you can see enough of this 1-ball, he might be tempted to play the 1 onto the 6 to pocket the 2. All depends on where the 2-ball is and all. It sort of looks like it's over the pocket, but you just never quite know if it's touching the bottom rail. Often it can double kiss in. This is not easy if he's taking it on.
Yeah, it wasn't guaranteed, certainly from the look of it, that even if he made contact in the two, it was absolutely certain to go in. So that was impressive. Now, another combination to follow. 1-6. Quite a bit of distance there between all the balls. It's a very good shot.
Yeah, this shot's a lot harder than the one he's just played as well. Purely down to the distance.
Well, he's borne out what you were saying. There was no way to play that without generating quite a bit of pace, and as we've seen with the tighter pockets this week, that bit of pace from any sort of distance can always be missed. Well, I was just about to say it looks to be all over on the other table, but Omar Al-Shaheen has left just a little bit of doubt there with where he's finished on the 8.
Yeah, and the cue balls lacked a little pace on this, but he's down quick. This is for the match and a big, big point.
Yeah, absolutely. It's his 6th win, and he's still got 3 more matches to go. Kelly Fisher now really doesn't have much more room for error because she's on 5 wins now, and she's only got 2 more matches to play. They're against Albin Ocean and Skylar Woodward. She may well need to win both of them. She's definitely going to have to win at least one. And the very good start that Kelly Fisher made to the week gradually ebbed away, but still time to turn it round again. It would be such a feat if she got through.
Max has got ball in hand. Back on table 1. On table 2 next. Lucius Yap. Well, he's going to be playing Jason Shaw. Jason Shaw. He's on 9 points from 12 matches, so he's got 3 matches left. And if he wins that match, he'll be tied with Albin Ocean on points.
It was the 2019 International Open in Virginia. That was one of the first big tournaments where Max Lechner came to everyone's attention. Got to the final. Came through on the winner's side all the way. In the list of players he beat, Skylar Woodward, Shane Van Boning, Ko Ping Chung, Joshua Filler, among others. He was only 12-11 down against Jason Shaw, who then pulled out pots with jump shots in both the 1 and the 2. Completed a testing run out from there to win the title, but Lechner had certainly made his name. He's 31 years of age now. You still feel there's a lot more to come from him at the highest level. Probably just one more shot to come from him in this rack. So he was 3-0 down. Break and run then in rack 4. He's taken this one as well, and he'll be breaking with a chance to level it. So let's have a look at this qualification race. Remember, the bottom 6 at the end of today, by which stage everyone will have played everyone, will be eliminated. There is Mieszko Fortunski, just inside that top 10 at the moment, but he needs wins to stop other players going past him. There you see Kelly Fisher. Her position has gradually disimproved as the week has gone on, but she's still not out of this. And Max Lechner, really just playing for the lower prize money placings now and just wants to get as many wins as he can. He'll be so relieved not to still be in danger of going through the whole thing without any wins at all. And this is his last match. Played Shane Van Bonen earlier today, was beaten 5-1. Not been the week he was hoping for when he came here, but there'll be better days ahead for him. And he starts us off now with a chance to complete this recovery from 3-0 down to all square, if he can win this rack on his own break. He's certainly given himself every chance.
4 balls down on the break. He can pop this 1 ball into the top left corner. It's not an easy shot, or guaranteed, what we like to say. He's playing it into a blind pocket, and he's got to draw the cue ball quite hard to get over for the 2. And he'll probably shoot the 2 ball down the rail into the left corner. That's more like it, Max. Good shot.
Closing in on what would be his second break and run in a row. If you are new to Nineball, the break and run term means that you pot at least 1 ball off the break, or in this case 4 of them, and run out the rack from there.
Yeah, that's not a bad shot as well. They look really easy, but when you're down on them shots, they can always be a little bit scary.
It is his last match in this year's Predator Premier League, but Max Lechner is going down punching. He trailed 3-0 against Mieszko Fortunski, who really needs the win here, but Lechner is back all square at 3 each. Max Lechner can't make it through to phase 2 of the Predator Premier League here in Milton Keynes, but he can inflict some serious damage on Mieszko Fortunski's hopes of progressing. The man from Poland was cruising along at 3-0, but Austrian Lechner has made it all square. Fortunski with the break in the 7th.
Nineball got kicked, it was travelling. What's he going to be faced with? Not a right lot. Funny that, when Fortunski stood there watching all the balls come up table and clatter into each other, you never quite know what you're going to get. And then when they finish like that, well, you just feel sick. Over on Matchroom.live, Mr. 714, Jason Shaw, has just got his match underway against Lucius Yap.
Yeah, that's a reference to the number of balls he potted in his recent successful attempt at the world record for straight pool successive potting.
Now, Yap's played 13 games and he's on 5 points. So I think we can all agree he needs to win both his matches. Maybe one, but you've often talked about the number 6 being enough, Michael. Are you still standing by that?
No. If you've been paying attention to me earlier, Carl. No, I'm saying now, I think 7, you're comfortable.
It's a bit harsh, that, Michael.
I am harsh, Carl. I learned from you. No, but yeah, I think 7 you're comfortable, and with 6, I would think there's a very good chance that what will happen will be there'll be a few players in or around 10th place on 6, and some of them will get through and some of them won't. It'll come down to Rack's difference. But at the start of the week, we were saying 5. I heard one player even speculating that 4 would probably be enough. But it'll be interesting to see over the next few years if we still have this format. If it ends up being that way, or will there be some years where it's more or maybe less? But that's what I think at the moment. I think 7, yeah, 6, maybe.
It's a foul.
Fortunski was 3-0 up, and now he's just give ball in hand away. 2 balls going to be trickier, but at least he's got ball in hand where he can put the cue ball where he wants in order to get an easy, natural position for the 2.
Extension, please.
That's what he's doing there with his cue. You can see he's just moving it bit by bit. He's going to follow the cue ball through. Oh, and he's missed the one. He has missed some unbelievable balls this week.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you wanted to show a reel of about 5 or 6 shots to sum up why it's gone so badly wrong for Max Lechner here this week, that would probably be in there. Now here's a Lucius Yap. Got a win earlier today over Alexander Kazakis in a hill-hill finish. So he's still fighting. He's on 5 wins. He's got 2 matches to go. May well need to win them both. Plays Francisco Sanchez Ruiz later this evening. First, he faces the informed Jason Shaw. And he's going to go 1-0 up.
So Max is straight back at the table. Is he going to try and bank it into the top right? Looks a thin snip in the middle. Yeah, he's played the bank into the top right, and it wasn't far away. It's a good effort. And that looks tight past that red 3. If it does go, I don't think he's got a full pocket. Job well done there.
Yeah, it's not the first time we've seen him involved in an epic struggle to make progress in a league event here at Milton Keynes. This event has grown out of the Championship League, which was staged here just under a year ago. And Fortunski played 40 matches in that tournament. His quest to get through became quite a tale in itself. He came in for Group 2. He lost in a couple of group semi-finals. And at the last attempt, he did make the group final, Group 7. So it was between him and Mark Bijsterbosch for the last place in the winners group. And the Dutchman won by 5 racks to 3. There's so many twists of fortune along the way in those 40 matches that he played. Still a long way short, of course, of the 52 that Albin Ocean played on his way to winning that tournament.
Oh, how'd you like this shot?
It's a foul.
That was a
very
horrible
much.
shot, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's all falling away for Fortunski after such a good start.
Start the clock, please. It's a foul.
I think what happened there was when he was striking down, because he was trying to draw the cue ball back, I think the cue ball just hit the rail pretty much straight away and then caused it to veer into the 8 ball. It's quite bizarre.
Yeah, here's that shot again. Could prove to be the most significant shot of the match, you know, because if Lechner runs out from here to go 4-3 in front, he's then got the break in the next rack.
Got to watch your shirt. If your piece of clothing was to touch the 9, it would be a foul. Yeah, that's nice. Cue ball's coming nicely off the side rail. And he's going to be the first man on the hill from 3-0 down.
Well, they're saying it's the worst storm in the UK for 30 years. It's really picking up outside. In here, Mieszko Fortunski's hopes of getting through are twisting in the wind in every direction. He's now 4-3 down. Aloysius Yap fighting the good fight. 2-0 up now against Jason Shaw. We arrived just in time to see him knock in that 9 ball. He's still battling away. 2 matches to go. May well need to win them both. Well, Fortunski's put in so much hard work to get back into this after the nightmare start that he had. Lost his first 5 matches, but most of them were close. A couple of them were 5-4. And then finally got the breakthrough in his first match on Wednesday. Beat David Al-Kaidi to launch a run of 4 wins in a row. And lost his next 2. The win over Francisco Sanchez Ruiz earlier gave him hope. And the hope won't be gone, even if he loses this. Still got a couple of matches. You know, Carly, look at the way this is developing. Everything is pointing to the strong possibility of that last match on the main table tonight between Fortunski and Oliver Szolnocki being a straight fight for the last place in the weekend's second phase. That's some way down the line. Right now, he's got to find a way back into this match for Fortunski, but is Lechner going to give him a chance. Well, that was looking so good for the Austrian there, wasn't it? Until the cue ball just trundled on, rolled in behind the two. So a lifeline maybe for Mieszko Fortunski.
Push out cold.
So he's calling a push. This is the situation he's faced with off the break. Looks like he's going to roll out into a jump shot, and he is. Fortunski, well, I'd be handing this straight back. Purely because of the distance. It's a 4-inch pocket, so the jump shot has got to go in a little cleaner. He can't pinch any of the pocket because this can only go in at pace. So I think percentage-wise, it's not a bad decision.
Well, this could be the whole match right here. If Lechner can pull this off, land on the two, Fortunski may well have played his last shot. But instead, he's been given a chance.
Yeah, you could actually see the one ball where it hit it on the just on the right-hand side rail, and at that pace, it's never going to go in.
Well, this is all he would have been hoping for, isn't it? Obviously, when your opponent's on the hill and they have the break, you don't know if you're going to get to the table at all. Certainly don't know if you're going to come into play with an opening.
Yeah, this is tricky. It's a tricky opening pot, this. Yeah, the nasty shots then when you're shooting across the table and the cue ball's near the rail, and you've kind of... Not saying he's got to roll it, but you can't put a good stroke on it. It's not a familiar shot, and that's why he's ended up hitting that ball fat.
Yeah, and it doesn't help when there's so much importance on the shot. But he could have had a much worse outcome.
Yeah, Max was always going to be favourite to lay a good hook there. Fair enough, even if you can see the edge of the one. It's still a nasty shot.
Big story developing on the other table. Aloysius Yap is 3 balls away from going 3-0 up against Jason Shaw. And that would be really significant. Yap has already had a win today. So he's on 5. 2 matches to go, including this one. Big development potentially in the race for those few remaining places to be decided in the next phase.
Safety shot's gone wrong from the butcher, so Max has got a long shot at this one ball. If he can knock this in, he will go favourite, and he will guarantee himself not finishing bottom of this year's Premier League.
It's there for the taking now. 5 racks in a row is very hard to do when it's alternate break, and we haven't seen it many times this week. To do it from 3-0 down will be quite a way to bow out at the end of what's been overall a very disappointing week for Max Lechner.
That just lacks a little pace. Another foot would have been absolute guaranteed. And I'm only saying that because we've seen him miss a lot of balls this week, and this is a little thin one. You've got to get into the cue ball. You've got to play it with right-hand English to spin it up the table.
Please.
Or he could just cut it in. And he doesn't have to play it the way I've just played. He could roll it, but he's doing, I can tell the way he's queuing up. He's spinning this ball in.
Should get the job done now. And really, he's been one of the form players towards the end of this phase. This looks like being his 4th win in his last 6 matches. And the 2 that he lost were against Joshua Filler and Shane Van Boning. He went close against Filler. It was only 5-4. Having lost his first 9 matches, he was always right up against it. Just missed too many balls. Simple as that, really. How much damage this is going to inflict on Fortunski will only become clear over the next few hours. But what we can say is that Max Lechner bows out of the Predator Premier League on a winning note. He's beaten Mieszko Fortunski by 5 racks to 3. Just one more match to come then on the main table in this early session on day 5. David Al-Kaidi and Oliver Szolnocki are up next.